man, I wanted to do this video for a while and I just haven't gotten around to doing it until now. With 2020 coming to an end and kind of everything wrapping up, I thought it would be a perfect time to do this now and kind of say goodbye to 2020. There's been a lot of things going around basically saying 2020 sucked, 2020 was a horrible year, this, that, I can't wait for the year to be over, and there's a few things I want to say on that. Yes, 2020 did not turn out the way anybody anticipated it to. It did not work out in a good way for anybody. It didn't work out in a way that anybody had hoped it to. All of the goals and expectations that we had for it kind of got pushed aside because a freaking pandemic happened, but that doesn't mean the year was a waste. And I feel like a lot of people are thinking of this year a waste of their life, a waste of a year, a waste of their time. And honestly, I'm here to say that's kind of not true. I mean, a lot of horrible shit happened. No and if or buts about that. A lot of people lost their jobs, lost their houses, lost their lives. It's not a great time for people in that sense, but it doesn't mean this year was a waste. I feel like it kind of opened our eyes to a lot of things and it kind of made us appreciate the small things more. I'm not here to say that 2020 is going to make us stronger, 2020 is a blessing, blah, 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 blah. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. 2020 sucked. Point blank. But it doesn't mean every single day, every single aspect of the year sucked. I mean, we had 2 solid months here, in North America at least, that the pandemic was not happening. We could do whatever we wanted. We had a good New Year's, we had a good January, we had a good February, and even a lot of people had a good couple weeks of March. I was able to go to Playlist Live, which was something I had dreamed of doing for a very long time with one of my best friends, Taylor, and had the freaking time of my life, and it was really fun. Playlist was a time to be alive, and I'm so happy I got to experience that, and I flew back a week before I would have had to quarantine because literally COVID was hitting as I was flying home, so it was a close call, but it was super, super fun, and I'm glad it happened the way it did because things would have been completely different if, you know, timing hadn't worked out so perfect. But this year closing up, I just kind of wanted to say goodbye to 2020 in kind of a way that I started it, on video, and kind of one of the only ways that you can kind of share right now because you can't go out with big groups of friends. Our quarantine has actually gotten worse. We can't see our friends or our family unless we live with them or unless they live by themselves. Or if you want to go to school with them and you can sit next to them and then you can also go to the gym and go to practice with them, that's okay. But God forbid they come over and watch a movie at your house or you go out for dinner together. You can sit in class and eat lunch next to each other without wearing your mask because it's not mandatory in school. But God forbid you go to the mall together or go to dinner. Not okay. You can sit next to a bus with someone, but you can't sit next to them in your house. Like, I don't get it. It's just, the rules are very all over the place, but all of that aside, there are some things that I kind of just want to say goodbye to and say thank you to. I kind of want to shed some positivity on the whole year. I mean, I know a lot of it is very, very horrible things have happened, both with the pandemic and just in society as a whole. It was a lot of not so great things, but like I said, doesn't take away from some of the good things that happen, and those are what I want to address. The good things that personally happened to me because I have thought about them. I've thought about the things that I'm grateful for that happened this year. I've thought about the things that I am fortunate enough to have experienced or been through this year. So I want to share those and hopefully it'll kind of get your brain thinking about all the things that happened this year. And for all of you guys who are very just like frowning upon this year that just happened and hoping it just to end like that, hopefully this will kind of let your brain do a little bit of thinking and think of the good things that have happened and kind of be a little grateful for those, I guess. I'm gonna try and talk fast because, of course, my camera's gonna die, but that's the first thing that I want to talk about is I unfortunately lost my job at the beginning of the year because of COVID. I worked in a casino in a buffet. So obviously casinos closed down and restaurants closed down, especially buffets. So clearly I lost my job. My job wasn't the best. I wasn't getting the hours I wanted. I wasn't getting a lot of things that I wanted to have happen. But you know, it was fine. It was a job that I worked with my friends. I worked with one of my best friends, Mackenzie, and it was an okay time. I got pretty good shifts. It wasn't horrible. I got a little bit of tips. It was a fine job for the time being. But obviously I lost that. I was very fortunate though because my dad is manager of a grocery store and I worked at the same grocery store chain couple years ago for like 3 years, so I was trained in all the departments and everything that he possibly needed me to do, so I literally started work the next day. I know not a lot of people were fortunate enough to have that happen. I mean, although grocery stores were hiring everywhere in the entire world, so if you really did need a job, you can walk into any single grocery store or Walmart or something like that, and I guarantee you they needed staff, so you probably could have gotten a job at any of those, but that's what I did, and I got a job and I started working full-time the day after I got word that we were shutting down. I was at work, we shut down. The next day I didn't know what I was doing, and then on the Tuesday morning I went to work. So I had 24 hours off work until I started working full-time, more than full-time, working overtime a bit of time, but I was fortunate enough to do that, and I have paid off my student loan, which is something that I was trying desperately to do, but me having issues spending money sometimes and not saving it, it was kind of hard to do. I was paying for my car insurance, I was paying for cheer, I was paying for trips, I was paying for random things that I just wanted to buy left, right, and center, like merch and necklaces that I probably never really wear. I've probably worn this twice ever. It's also cutting me, so I want to take it off because it's sharp, but I was buying random things like that that I just didn't really need, but I had a little bit of money in my account, so I would spend it and then I wouldn't pay off my student loan. And it was just a never-ending cycle of, oh, I put $20 into it. So it's slowly going down, but not going down nearly fast enough. But then when I started working full-time, and you couldn't go to cheer, so I wasn't paying the bills for cheer, and I couldn't drive my car really anywhere, so I took it off the road and put it in the garage and uninsured it, because why would I need my own car when I go to work with my dad every day and I can't see my friends? So I uninsured my car, so saved money there. I was able to not only pay off my student loan, I bought a new MacBook for myself, which was really, really exciting for me. I am a huge Apple person. Like, I love Apple products. Those have definitely been my go-to for a very, very long time. And I had a laptop that, I mean, I still have it. I'm staring at it right now in the corner, but it wasn't working the greatest. When I was trying to edit, the screen would flicker and it would turn off and crash, and it just made it very, very difficult to edit and wasn't necessarily the best situation. So I decided I wanted to get a new one, and I saved up enough money after I paid off my loan that I bought it for myself, because I got the other one when I was going into grade 12. So I went through all of college and last year of high school with this old laptop. So I bought myself a new one as a treat for like a little graduation present sort of thing, because I finished my program, I finished my diploma. So now I technically am graduated college, even though I haven't technically graduated yet because I have to put in my application. But I'm done all the content, I'm done all the courses, I'm done all the requirements. So technically I finished school, which is something that I'm very excited to do. Unfortunately, I went for hospitality, and hospitality is not the most available industry right now. It's kind of hurting. Hospitality and tourism is definitely not something that is doing too well in the market for jobs, but I mean, one day it will. Travel will start back up again, things will go back to normal eventually, and when it does, I have my degree to be like, guys, look, I have my diploma, I can get a job, please hire me, and they'll be like, you know what, okay, sure. I hope. But not only that, is I saved up enough money that I bought myself a new camera. I bought a camera that you guys are watching me on right now, that the quality is actually like kind of freaking amazing, for me at least. It's a DSLR camera, it's a Canon camera, something that I wanted for a very, very long time. I remember having them in high school for like photography class, like yearbook, and I always wanted one, but I could never afford it because there's no way I can spend that much money on a camera. But I realized that if it's something that I really, really want, and it's something that I feel like is going to be useful for me, then you know what, it's my money, it's my decision, so I did it, and I'm so happy I did. I freaking love it. I film all the time with it. It just made me a lot more motivated to film, because it's like not a little point and shoot vlog camera anymore, which I mean was still good quality, it still had pretty good focus, and it had a viewfinder, but this makes you feel like official. So I got my camera, I got my little ring light that I have on that is very low, so it probably isn't the best lighting, but like, we here. I don't want it that bright though, because honestly, I have a headache and I feel really dizzy and feel kind of nauseous, so I don't really want to have too bright lights shining in my face right now, but that's that. Besides all the stuff that I was able to afford by working, I also I feel like I got closer to a lot of my friends. Because you can't see people on an everyday basis, and because you can't spend a ton of time with them, you kind of get to learn who's gonna reach out and who's gonna be there when it's not just like easy to be there, who's gonna put in the effort to talk to you. So although I feel like I've definitely drifted from some people, I've also gotten a lot closer to some people, and I'm very fortunate for that. And I know it kind of sucks and it's hard to go through those things sometimes, but learning who people truly are is one of the best things ever. I know it sucks at the time being, and I know it sucks sometimes to figure out not necessarily the most positive things about people or such, but definitely in the long run it's worth it, and it's good to find out people's true colors. So yeah. I dyed my hair is another thing. As you guys can kind of tell, I hope, it's not the same color. Like, there's a lot of blonde in it because I dyed my hair. It's definitely kind of fading a little bit now, and you can kind of see there's like lighter parts underneath, and I have it in a ponytail, so it's kind of hard to tell right now, but I dyed my hair for the first time in my entire life, and I I'm freaking obsessed with it. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. People didn't even notice a little bit at work, which I'm like, okay, come on. It's not that noticeable, but like it's noticeable enough that you should notice, like, come on. But yeah, I did it for the first time in my entire life, and I was honestly terrified. I've never dyed my hair before. I just didn't know what to expect, but I just went in giving my friend who was the hairstylist like full reign. I just said, do what you think is right. Like, I sent her a couple pictures for like inspiration, but then I just kind of let her do her thing, and I'm honestly so happy with it. I love it. I don't know if I'm gonna dye it again. I think I'm just gonna let it grow out. I'm gonna probably trim it soon. I'm happy that I finally kind of stepped outside my comfort zone a little bit and did something different. Speaking of doing something different, I expanded my wardrobe, if that makes sense. I definitely stepped a little bit more outside my comfort zone with my outfits. I mean, I'm wearing leggings and a hoodie right now, which is very much me, and I'm comfortable, and I'm sitting on my bedroom floor right now, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. But like the necklace I'm wearing, which is something that I probably wouldn't have bought before, but I thought it was cute. I thought it would be cute with like certain tops and stuff, and I mean, it's kind of not my style, but like, what is somebody's style? Someone's style is what you make it, so I'm trying to expand my horizons and expand my, you know, my wardrobe a little bit, and definitely is helping. I bought a couple different pairs of pants that are like fun graphic, like patterned pants. Wait, there's a pair of pants that I forgot I owned. I should have worn those today. I have like these comic book pants, like butterfly pants and stuff that I would have never worn before, but I got, and I'm really excited to wear them when things kind of open up again for like concerts or events and stuff. And I'm really excited just to kind of not be that basic white girl type style. I mean, I freaking love hoodies and leggings and ripped black jeans, but I'm excited to kind of expand and grow my confidence. I literally had a photo shoot today by myself in my room because I wanted to post pictures in a cute outfit that I got a turtleneck and I had this necklace on, and I felt like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like, you know, with this turtleneck on and this fanny pack. I definitely have expanded my horizons with editing this year. I got a new website. I discovered a new website that I actually make my thumbnails on now, and I discovered you can also do video editing on it as well. So I kind of played around with some stuff. I made some like green screen transparent things, and if you guys look at the end of my videos, you would see that there's like a little thing that pops across the screen that says like subscribe and post notifications and thumbs up, and I'm kind of learning how to do things like that. It's still very basic stuff, and it's still stuff that isn't that difficult, but I'm excited to kind of finally learn how to play around with stuff and do stuff on my own, opposed to just relying on transparent type things from YouTube or buy other stuff, but actually be able to create the visuals on my own. So yeah. Also, speaking of learning stuff on my own, I got a keyboard at the beginning of this year, and I've slowly been learning to play it. I'm not the best. I don't know a lot of stuff. I've labeled all the keys with like little like letters on it, so I know what key is what. But I'm definitely learning how to play a little bit, and it's exciting because piano is something I've always wanted to learn how to play, and getting the keyboard definitely was a step in the right direction. I'm actually going to be moving next year in like February sometime, and my mom wants to get like a full-on piano, or like a keyboard, but like a full keyboard. This one's just like a mini one. So I'm gonna actually work on learning how to play piano and finally get the music back in my blood. I used to play guitar, and my guitar is actually sitting right over here, and I want to pick that up and start playing it again. I've done a little bit throughout quarantine, but like not super large amount, so I definitely want to start doing that again. I definitely go through phases with that, but I'm excited that I'm finally learning and like putting my creative aspects into something else. As you can probably tell, I'm a fairly creative person. I'm not very good with drawing or art or that kind of stuff, but I am very creative with my brain, and I like to kind of execute stuff and like provide some sort of either entertainment or something. So I've kind of been doing a lot of thinking and thinking about my future, and I definitely decided that I need to do some sort of career that has a creative outlet with it. With that being said, I don't fully know what I'm doing with my future, but I have been doing some digging around with some different schools, some schools in New York actually. Don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Obviously everything's all over the place, but who knows what's gonna happen. But all I know is things might be a little bit different with my future than I thought they would be. Social media has obviously always been something that I've been intrigued in and interested in, and I've definitely discovered that a lot more over quarantine, that social media is definitely an outlet that I use to kind of express myself and put my emotions and feelings out there. It's something that allows me to kind of be myself and just like express the way I'm feeling. I'm not the best at talking to people. I don't really know how to express my emotions very well, nor do I like to. They're my problems, and I like to deal with them with myself. Sometimes I'll tweet the odd thing here or there, but like that's as far as I'll go. I don't really like to dive in deep with other people because, like I said, they're my problems, and I don't feel like I should be worrying other people with them. And I know my friends are obviously there to talk to me and all that stuff, but frankly, I don't really know what I would even say if I were to open up. It's something that I struggle with, and I hope in the next year I can kind of figure that whole thing out. But I'm definitely using social media and using like TikTok and YouTube as platforms to kind of express my emotions, even if it's not talking about it, even if it's just as a distraction. It definitely puts me in a good mind space, and being able to sit in front of a camera and just kind of talk and speak and not have to worry about what other people are gonna think or say, because really what I'm filming it right now at it's exactly 4:30 on December 14th, on Monday, December 14th. Like, people aren't seeing this right now. It's going into my SD card. I'm not doing anything with it right now. Nobody can see this. I'm being 100% myself. I'm home alone. I can do whatever I want, express the way I'm feeling, and if I don't choose to present that to somebody or don't choose to share that with anybody, I can hit delete. But it's nice to be able to get that off my chest. I've never really been into writing or anything because printing frankly hurts my hand. I broke my finger a couple years ago, so printing hurts my hand. Holding a pen for too long hurts my finger. So I prefer speaking. I feel like it's an easier way for me to get my thoughts out. I don't really think what I'm saying, I just kind of speak it, and definitely kind of learned a lot more of that this year. What else have I learned this year? Man, I learned how much music can move people and how much music can bring people together. Obviously, as you guys know, if you've seen any of my other videos, I am a huge like fangirl when it comes to music. I love artists. I get like obsessed with people. I mean, not as much anymore. I mean, I'm 22 years old now. I don't necessarily have those fangirl fits like I used to. I'm not sitting on my floor like, oh my god, and like shaking like I used to do. I've definitely matured a lot more, but I still have those like positive rays that almost like feel like they're bursting out of me because I'm just so excited and so happy to like hear new songs and see new music videos. And I realized how much that means to me and how important music is to me. It's definitely helped me escape from reality a lot of times and helped me get through some not so great times. And throughout the last, year, there's been a lot of those. I've definitely hit a very, very low point in my mental health this year. And it's weird to think about because when I was in like elementary school and beginning of high school, like grade 8, like middle school kind of age, I definitely went through a lot. I was bullied. I didn't have the best group of friends. I had friends that I absolutely loved and adored, and I still care so much for them. I still care for them so deeply. But I would come home crying every day because they were so horrible to me, and I just let them push me over. I let them step all over me because I was too kind and too considerate of the way that they would feel if I spoke up about the way that I was feeling. So I just kind of let them push over me and kind of just like walk all over me. And that wasn't right, and my mom told me it wasn't right, and she told me I should find better friends, and she almost switched me to a different school because it was so horrible. But I'm lucky that I've kind of blocked that out of my brain a lot. Obviously things pop up and like memories are still there, but me being so naive and me being so considerate of other people and the way they're thinking, I'm like, you know what, it's fine. I won't let it bother me, even though it so did every single time I came home from school crying, or before, on Sunday night before I went to school, like having a full mental breakdown because I was so nervous to go to school tomorrow because I knew my friends would be so cruel to me. For some reason, they were still my friends and my best friends and I loved them, but that was what I went through. My mental health wasn't as low as it is today. I mean, today it's better than it was a month ago, and it's better than it was in, say, May, June, but I don't know. This year has been very, very tough on me personally. I feel like I've done a lot of more realization of who I am and who I don't know who I am kind of thing. There's a lot of me that I don't know about. There's a lot that I haven't discovered, and I mean, I'm still young. I'm still 22. Like, there's still a lot of my life left to live. But it's kind of scary to like think about, I'm 22 now and I still have no idea what I want to do with my life sort of thing. And the ideas that I do have just seem very kind of unrealistic. And I know everyone's like, oh, well, like dream big, like you never know what's gonna happen. But you only want to dream so big because you know deep down sometimes it's like, oh, well, I could say I want to be the next James Charles. And I know that's never gonna happen. I don't have the business sense. I don't have the talent in beauty, makeup stuff. I don't have the personality. I don't have the confidence. I just don't have him. Every single person is different and no one's gonna be like anybody else, and that's completely fine. But learning to accept that, learning to accept yourself is very, very difficult, and spending more time on your own and spending more time being able to think about that sometimes works out for the best and you figure it out, but sometimes it's just like a never-ending cycle, and I feel like that's what I was kind of in. I went through not so best times with some people, with myself. So like I said, definitely the lowest my mental health has ever been in my entire life. But like I said prior to now, earlier on in this video, you learn who your true friends are and you learn who's going to be there for you, and you can learn who you can rely on. And I definitely learned that a lot. So you figure out who you need to call when you need to talk to somebody and who's actually going to be there to listen and care, because you know that they reached out to you because they actually wanted to hear what you had to say. They actually cared. They saw what you said on Twitter. They saw what you said here. They could just tell by your attitude that something's up and something's not right, and they actually genuinely care about you, which is really nice to know that you have those kind of people. And like I said, it takes time to figure out, and it's trial and error, unfortunately, with a lot of things like that, but when you finally figure it out, it's a really good thing. What else has this year taught me? It's definitely taught me that I need to appreciate my family a lot more. I mean, I've spent so much time with my dad. I spend literally every single day with my dad since March. There's been a couple times where like he's gone away for the weekend or I've gone away for the weekend in like the summertime, or my parents went away for like their anniversary in the beginning of October, but besides that, I have spent every single day with my dad. I work with him, we have the same days off, so it's like I'm either seeing him at work, seeing him in the car on the way to or from work, seeing him after work at dinner, seeing him on Sunday and Mondays at home when we're both off work. Like, it's all the time. I'm very fortunate that I have a very good relationship with my dad. I know not everybody's like that. We have a really, really good, positive relationship. I don't really know if I have anything else to say. But that's basically my 2020. I spent a lot of time at work. I've spent a lot of time in my room. I spent a lot of time in the living room with my family watching TV. Everyone's year has been definitely completely different. Some people got a ton of time off when quarantine started. Some people got absolutely no time off. Some people lost their jobs. Some people's jobs amped up. Some people got different jobs. It's all very much different for everyone. Some people had to take online classes. Some people didn't. I personally had 2 weeks of online school. I had PowerPoints uploaded to Blackboard for 2 weeks, and then I had a final exam, and then I was done. He shortened our semester completely. He decided that we were just gonna do the 2 lessons that he had done up and then take our exam and be done for the year, because you know what? You guys deserve a freaking break, and I'm very, very fortunate that he did that, because I'm glad I didn't have to sit through any lectures in my bedroom. That would have not been fun. I don't know. I feel like that's all I'm gonna say. I mean, as of right now, there's still 2 weeks left in the year, and obviously a lot can happen in 2 weeks. Vaccines started today, I think this morning. It was either yesterday or today the first vaccines were distributed into Canada. It was some healthcare workers were getting them. Some people that worked in long-term care homes were getting them. I'm gonna go. But yeah, goodbye to 2020, I guess. Can't wait for 2021. Peace out.